The sea was glass that night, perfectly calm, perfectly wrong. No waves, no wind, just the slow, steady hum of engines echoing through Scotland's butt sound. 3 trawlers drifted beneath a sky so clear it looked endless. Their floodlights carved pale circles on the black water. On one of them, the Antares, 4 men worked without worry. The skipper hummed softly, checking nets, while his crew joked about breakfast. To them, it was routine, familiar tides, familiar stars. But beneath them, unseen in the dark, something massive moved, 80 meters of steel slicing through the deep. A submarine, silent, invisible. 2 worlds, one above and one below, separated by nothing but a few hundred feet of salt water and fate. The Antares was small, 57 feet of wood and iron, tough as her crew. She had fished these waters for decades. Her skipper, just 36, knew every sound the sea could make except this one. Below, HMS Trenchant, a nuclear-powered Trafalgar-class submarine, glided through darkness. On board were 6 trainees and a commander with 18 years at sea. They were taking the Navy's infamous perisher course, a trial feared by every submarine officer. One wrong call meant failure. One wrong move could mean disaster. For 4 days they had drilled through the North Sea. Now, under the calm waters near Iran, the Trenchant began a new exercise, stealth maneuvers in confined waters. Above them, the Antares dragged her nets across the trench, 2 routines unfolding at once, and both about to collide.
Looks like a good haul tonight, boys.
By nightfall, everything felt ordinary. The Antares cruised northwest, nets out, radio crackling with laughter from nearby trawlers, Heroine and Hercules. Heading north, one voice said. "Copy that," replied the skipper. The sea was calm, eerily so. Inside the Trenchant, the control room glowed with red light. Trainees studied sonar traces, their captain whispering corrections. They had no idea how close they were to the fishing fleet above. Every blip on the screen looked the same, faint arcs, soft pulses of light. At 2 a.m., the submarine turned north at 6 knots. The trawler above, changing course for her next line, unknowingly crossed that same path. The radar on one vessel blinked. A sonar ping below echoed back. 2 signals, one night, and destiny closing the distance.
What is that? What is
Inside
that?
the submarine,
It's
a
coming
trainee
right at us.
adjusted his dials. Contact 5, fishing vessel, the sonar operator reported. The sound was faint but steady. Routine. Then suddenly louder, closer. The captain leaned in, range.
This is Mayday,
No range
Mayday,
lock
Mayday.
yet, but it is
Requesting
increasing
immediate
fast.
assistance.
Turn to
We have
port.
an engine
Keep
failure.
depth at 60. The submarine banked gently. Water hissed past the hull, but sonar now screamed with feedback metal echoing from just ahead. The contact was inside the exclusion zone, less than 2,000 yards. Steady as she goes, the trainee muttered. Above, the Antares turned her nets. The crew barely noticed the change in current beneath their feet. They were crossing paths with a ghost, a vessel that could not see them, could not hear them, and would not stop in time.
Brace for impact. We're hit.
2:19 a.m., the sea convulsed. A grinding shriek of metal echoed through the dark. The Trenchant jolted as if punched by a giant hand. Sonar snag, shouted the operator. Engines stopped. Steel cables scraped across the submarine's skin like claws. Above on the Antares, nets snapped tight, the deck lurched. One man was thrown to his knees,
Mayday!
another
We've been
slammed
hit!
into the
We are taking on
wheelhouse.
water and
The
losing
skipper
power!
yelled, "Power up," but the propellers screamed uselessly against the strain. The trawler listed hard to starboard. Cold seawater burst through the open window, flooding the cabin in seconds. The radio crackled once, before it drowned in static. For a heartbeat, there was chaos, then silence. The boat rolled once more and vanished beneath the calm surface, as if it had never existed at all. The only witnesses were the stars above and the submarine that never even felt her die. Moments later, the trenchant rose to periscope depth. The captain scanned the surface, 2 trawlers still fishing, lights bobbing gently in the dark. No distress flares, no debris. He logged the snag and moved on. Wrapped around the submarine's tower, torn steel wires shimmered faintly in the floodlights, evidence of something or someone. But the sea told no tales. The report was filed, minor contact. No damage. Below, the Antares lay on her side at the bottom of the trench, wheelhouse crushed, nets coiled like ropes of memory. Inside, the water was still. No light. No sound. Just 4 men frozen in the last moment of their lives, hands outstretched, forever reaching toward the surface they would never see again.
We have a visual on the target. Over. Over.
At dawn, the ocean gave up its secret slowly. Floating crates, torn nets, a single oil slick spreading across the bay. By 9 a.m.,
Mayday.
word reached the Coast
Mayday.
Guard, a trawler
We're going down.
overdue, last contact 2 a.m. Search helicopters swept the sound, their rotors stirring the mist. Hours later, sonar found the wreck 150 meters down, resting in silence. Divers confirmed it, Antares, hull intact, windows shattered inward. Nets tangled with chains no fisherman could have
Closing
thrown.
in on our position.
The investigation began.
All
The
hands,
Navy
brace
logs
for
showed
impact.
the trenchant's course intersecting the Antares' last position. The times matched to the minute. One sonar contact had been 2 vessels, mistaken as one. Human error. Officially, collision between HMS Trenchant
The evidence
and FV
presented
Antares.
leaves no room for doubt.
Unofficially, a secret buried under 6 hours of calm
Mayday,
water and
mayday,
60
mayday.
tons of steel.
We've got a collision in the
The
North
Royal
Atlantic.
Navy changed
Requesting
its rules,
immediate
greater
assistance.
distance, stricter watchkeeping. But for 4 families, that came far too late. Years passed. The Antares was raised and displayed in the Scottish Maritime Museum, her wooden hull a ghostly reminder of a quiet night turned nightmare. Visitors stared at her curved frame, the paint still flecked with salt. But time eroded even that. In 2008, she was dismantled piece by piece until only a bronze plaque remained. Today, Caradale's pier is alive again. Trawlers preparing for dawn, ropes creaking, gulls screaming above the top. Yet if you stand at the seawall and look east toward Iran, the wind feels colder there. 4 names carved into stone, 4 lives taken by silence. And when the tide rises, waves brush the plaque as if the sea itself remembers. Because the ocean never forgets what it has taken. It only waits, patient, endless, whispering the same name again and again. Antares.